Check out how beautiful that slow simmering curry looks with all those amazing spices. This is so amazing. This is a very special Indonesian rendang with beef short ribs. So making curry paste from scratch doesn't have to be a really big hassle, and it's a really great way to get to know some really beautiful Southeast Asian ingredients as well. So let's do the curry paste first, and I've got a few little tips and tricks I'm going to be showing you for how we can make the best out of a blender, which, you know, the ideal scenario would be that we would do this in a mortar and pestle, but hey, I'm a pragmatist and I know that a blender is going to be easier for most people. Anyway, let's start with the chilies first. Now, I've just had these chilies soaking in some hot water. I like to put a plate on top of them to make sure they really get in there and get nice and, you know, evenly soaked and soft. So I just want to squeeze out some of this liquid. And these are a Thai chili. They're a large dried red chili. You'll find these in a Chinese grocer or a Thai supermarket, and they're not super hot, I have to say. They have a beautiful kind of almost a little bit of a smoky flavor, but they are not super fiery. Now, keep a hold of that chili soaking liquid. We're going to need that possibly when we come to the blending part. We'll talk about that part later, but let's get these chilies nice and finely chopped. So yes, we are going to be using a blender, but to make the best of that blender, we really need to make sure all the ingredients are chopped into small pieces to help that blender along. One of the defining flavors for me that sets a rendang curry paste apart from like a Thai curry paste or an Indian curry paste is the use of a lot of these shallots. They add a really beautiful fragrance and aroma and really says to me, rendang, whenever I smell those shallots going into the frying pan. Okay, and some garlic as well. Now the galangal. So it kind of looks like ginger, but it's not ginger. If you smell it, and when you taste it, it has almost like a citrusy high note or pine forest kind of aroma to it. And it's a very unique ingredient. It's something that freezes really well. So if you can get a hold of it from an Asian grocer, then keep a bunch of it in the freezer for when you're going to make curry paste like this. And I just want to take a little bit of the skin off. And again with this, I want a nice fine chop. Now, the other really defining characteristic of this curry paste is lemongrass. So I want 2 pieces of lemongrass, and you really want to give this a bruising with the back of your knife first. Just trim those edges. And then the outer part of the lemongrass stalk is always quite firm, a little woody, and very hard to break down into a paste. So peel those outer layers off, but keep a hold of them because we're going to use this to flavor the curry sauce as well. No wasting here. But this inner part, I want some really fine slices. Okay, just stop when you get to the kind of firm woody end here. Save those bits for later also. And that tender inner part goes into my blender. And now for the spices. I need some ground cumin, ground coriander, and a decent pinch of salt here. I find the salt not only will add flavor to this paste, but the granules kind of help to break down all the fibers in here as well. And now we blend. Okay, so this is where you see a massive difference between making a curry paste in a mortar and pestle and making one in a blender. So if you have a look, the blender's just kind of chopping these ingredients. What happens in a mortar and pestle is it kind of smushes them, it releases more of the oils and the flavors in each of the ingredients. So this chopping stuff is not the optimal kind of texture that we want. So to encourage everything to make better friends in here, I'm going to use some of this chili soaking liquid to thin this out a little bit so it's easier to blend. Now, a lot of people add oil here, and to me the oil creates the wrong texture and actually kind of inhibits the flavor a little bit. It's like when you use oil to make a mayonnaise. It kind of thickens up and becomes creamy, which is not what we want for a curry paste. And now if you have a look here, that liquid has made all the difference, and this is the kind of texture that we're after. Oh, the smell here, guys, so amazing. Making your own curry paste at home is one of those really joyous things and really not that difficult. Coconut. So this is the other really important flavor in this dish. We're going to do coconut milk a bit later, but to start with, we want some desiccated coconut. Now, one of my little secrets here is to actually toast it before we put it into the sauce. That's going to add an extra depth and layer of flavor. So to start this beef off in the best possible way, we want to sear it in the pan. So I want a little bit of oil first. And this is the same principle whether you're making a French beef bourguignon or you're making a classic Italian ossobuco. What you want is to add flavor to the beef by salting it and searing it first. So be generous with the salt, give each piece the love it deserves, and then get it into the pan. And be patient here. Do it in batches so that everything gets a beautiful brown color. Now, contrary to what a lot of people say, this has nothing to do with sealing in juices or anything like that. This is a pure flavor play, guys. This browning that happens on the outside of the beef, that is going to give us all the flavor that we can possibly get out of that beef. Okay, so see this stuff in the bottom of the pan? Do not get rid of that. That's the flavor we've worked so hard to create. And we've got a little bit of fat there as well, which is great because it means I don't have to add any oil. If you find that this is really dry, just add a tablespoon of oil in there. So straight into here, I'm gonna get some cardamom seeds and some star anise. And then grab those lemongrass stalks we saved earlier. I just get everything started in here, a little bit of a sizzle. Use your spoon to kind of scrape up that fond, or the flavor that's in the bottom of the pan there. And now add in that paste. Now give that paste a minute or so for the raw onion and the garlic to kind of cook down a little bit, take away that harsh raw flavor. It's already smelling so amazing. I love the magic of a curry paste. It's just like all these amazing, huge ingredients combined to make something really beautiful and harmonious. Now pour in some coconut milk and add your toasted coconut. Fish sauce and some palm sugar as well. So palm sugar comes in these firm blocks, so you'll need to shave it with your knife first. And some kaffir lime leaves. Now what I want to do with these is just scrunch them up in my hands and throw them in. Now time to add in our beef. And just get that beef acquainted with that curry sauce. Make sure each piece is getting some nice love there. Congratulations guys, that's the hard work done. Now we just need a little bit of patience. Cover that, let it simmer really gently for about 2 hours, and then we'll come back and have a look. So right now I am so hungry. This is the only problem with this recipe, is it takes some patience and it smells amazing. Right, let's have a look. So beautiful. So we're only part way through, guys. So I think of this first cooking step as that's the part that will make the beef a little tender because there's lots of liquid, it has been cooking down. Now what we want to do is move into the second phase of cooking. So we've done the braising, now we want to get into almost like the frying. So first of all I want to take this oil off the top, and there's quite a bit because those beef ribs are a little fatty. Very flavorful, but let's take that oil off. Now what we want to do is intensify all the flavors, allow that liquid to evaporate, because a true rendang should be quite dry at the end with just a really beautiful coating of thick, rich spices around the beef. So I want you guys to exercise a little more patience and let this simmer uncovered for another 30 minutes to 45 minutes, just until we kind of see all of that liquid disappear. Okay, so this has magically transformed into super rich, spiced curry. Oh, look at that. And that's about what you want with the liquid texture, so it should be a really thick coating on the outside of that beef. Now, I just want to get rid of some of those incidental pieces now because they've done their job. So that lemongrass, and then if you can spot any of that star anise, just pull those out as well. I don't mind too much about the cardamom pods. I mean, I quite like, you know, having a bit of a pop of cardamom when I bite into it in the curry, and they've become quite soft from simmering away in here, so they're okay. To check my sauce for seasoning. Wow, that beautiful cardamom flavor and the cumin and the coriander, and I think we're good for salt. And that's the benefit of salting our beef and searing it, and also a little bit of salt in the curry paste as well. That flavor is so rich and so beautiful. Yum. Okay, so let's get our beautiful pieces of beef out onto a plate. And this is one of those dishes that is meant for sharing with a group of friends. So put it all out. Some steamed rice goes great with this. And then some of that residual sauce, and then finally, for an added pop of fresh flavor, I like to sprinkle a few fine slices of kaffir lime leaves. So there you go, guys, beef short rib rendang. Yes, it takes a little bit of time, but it's not that complicated to make, just a bit of patience, and let's see if it's worth it. That beef is so soft and tender. And that flavor, wow, wow. That's all I can say. Wow. Amazing. Very good. Did I say share? No, there's no way I could eat all of that. Maybe. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that subscribe button plus the little bell one, and that way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks, guys.